Yep, Talise Williams, back with another video. Basically, just still connecting dots on all this information that's out here. Check out Kyle's channel, White People Do It Too. He has a few videos up about the smart cities and that global initiative, which ties to 2045. As I was saying in other videos, that they're going to get it to the point where just interacting with the smart city is not going to be possible. You're going to actually have to interface with it, which is where the 2045 initiative will come in. And phase 1 of 2045 will be over next year. And they wrapped it in a pretty package of amputees and paraplegics and paralyzed people, but of course that's not the goal. And robots don't have a consciousness, and transporting your consciousness onto it will work on a certain level, but machines will end up taking over and gathering knowledge, like in the Matrix movie. Smith was a program. He was a machine. The program Smith grew beyond their control, and that's what'll happen. They'll get a taste of power. They'll artificially grow past the capabilities of us to stop it. But also it's a way to draw mankind further away from God. If some of y'all looked at the video for one song and listened to the first 5 minutes like I suggested, and there's another video that Kyle sent me Friday that talks about the tricks and traps of the English language and how words are spells, and that was alluded to in one song, that you understand or stand under the spell, and spells bind us and trick us and make us believe certain things, like the term Merry Christmas. Merry means happy. Christ is Christ. Mass is not a birthday. Mass is a funeral. Mass also comes from, its a Latin counterpart, dismiss or dismissal. So you would have happy dismissal of Christ. The Saturnalia hated Jesus. They wanted Jesus dead. The reason we have is December 25th is Jesus' birthday is because the Emperor Constantine wanted to bring forth Christianity to Rome, and to Greece, but those people were big, they were deep into their pagan traditions, and in order to get them to accept those traditions, he let them keep some of them. If you look at all the pagan figures, in history, Osiris, Horus, Buddha, Confucius, the Hindu god, Nimrod, the Babylonian god, their birthdays are all December 25th. There is no December in Jerusalem. Their calendars have different names for the months. Jesus was born in the month of Tishri, which is the equivalent of September here in the States. But that's just another trick, another trap to keep us confused, to keep us in this basically matrix. Some people don't want to wake up from the dream. Some people don't want to be unplugged. Some people don't want to know the truth because they have a normalcy bias. The truth is too scary. And to Kyle and Cag, I just seen 4 planes go overhead, and 2 of them had chemtrails. So I guess we didn't get completely lucky. But this is like the 3rd or 4th time I try to record this video. So that might be them trying to chemtrail me. But as I was saying in the other video, that part of that 2045 initiative, one scientist was explaining that They were seeing spores in the air, and the lady was saying, you mean coming from chemtrails? So, I mean, they could spread that. We could be in a situation where we don't have a choice. If they put it in the food, put it in the medicine and the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, put it in the water supply, they use to dumb us down, and that's what, how they'll get us to accept it. They give us the illusion that we have a choice when we really don't. Like I was saying in other video, Dick Gregory talked about chemtrails big time. Dick Gregory talked about, Dr. King's assassination. And he talked about how the people with ties weren't in on it, and the people without ties were, and that's who they knew, who to trust and who not to trust. And if you look at the photo, Jesse Jackson doesn't have a tie on. And this is why Jesse Jackson has prominence while doing nothing. There's no reason for Jesse Jackson to be famous. Him or Al Sharpton. These people, they did nothing, But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ralph Abernathy had on a tie, so he wasn't in on it. And Abernathy faded away just as if he was assassinated with Dr. King. But and like I said, it took the 90s to Coretta Scott King taking this to court. But I mean, the videos I've seen of Dick Gregory saying this has been decades. But Dick Gregory, he passed away last year, I believe. But Dick Gregory, crazy old man. Young folks ain't gonna listen to him no way. But if you take a Kanye West, he has a big following, and a lot of that following is white people. People can say whatever they want. 80% of hip-hop music is bought by white folks. So, and they don't need that message out there. That's why they have to discredit Kanye West. That's why they discredit Bill Cosby. They tried to kill his son Ennis. It didn't shut him up. It's not that. And like Michael Jordan wasn't necessarily trying to wake nobody up, but he was kind of feeling himself too much. What they do, they killed his father. Get back on that damn plantation and, keep picking that cotton, as Axel always said. That's what they do to you. But, you have people that always rage against the machine, that always, go against their statements. And you have to pay attention to those people. You have to be mindful of them, and you have to be open and willing to accept their message, no matter how crazy it may sound. You got some people, David Icke is a shield. Dennis Prager is a shield. This person, Alex Jones, is a shield. It's not about somebody being a shield or not. David Icke has great information. If he shields when he's talking, I don't care. I found a lot of his information to be true. He was talking about these elites and their bloodlines and the fact that they're, reptilians and they're shapeshifters. And nobody wanted to pay attention to David Icke. Just recently I read this whole story about a guy who remembers Prince meeting with Prince Charles around 99 or 2000, and him coming back from that meeting saying the royal family are some shapeshifters. They are shapeshifters. And it's crazy to me how you look back on stuff like MTV had a show called Celebrity Deathmatch. And on Celebrity Deathmatch, Prince Charles was against Prince. And Prince Charles killed Prince. You see that? Prince Charles, Prince. Prince dies on his mother's 90th birthday. The number 9 is the number of blood sacrifice. Imagine that. Look how crazy that is. You think that's a coincidence? It's absolutely not a coincidence. It's all a synchronicity. Okay, look at this. This picture, if you can see it. That picture, that statue is Horatio Nelson, Vice Admiral of the British Navy. That picture was taken April 19th, 2016, when they were unveiling their temple or to Baal in Trafalgar Square. As you can see, a chemtrail is overhead, and he has on a gas mask. You know, I was told that Horatio Nelson's nickname was Prince, and we know the singer's full birth name is Prince Rogers Nelson. He dies 2 days later. You know, a week before his death, what happened? He leaves that concert in Atlanta on an airplane. They land the plane in Illinois, saying he got, he overdosed on a plane, even though nobody's seen him take a pill. He overdosed and almost died. He's in some nowhere town and asked for a private room, and they told him they couldn't give him one. Now, who the fuck wouldn't give a superstar a private room? We know hospitals are all about the money. So he leaves. I mean, it's total nonsense. I don't even necessarily know if it ever happened. But the people around him say it happened, especially Judith Hill. Now, why is she important? Judith Hill was with Michael Jackson a couple days before he died. Now, she's linked to two icons who die within days of being in her presence. What is her significance and what is her purpose? Does she go around because she's a backup singer? Is she like some kind of secret sniper? Who knows all that information? But, there was also a concert Prince did in London in 1998, I believe. And he always did after shows. And during his after show, he tells everybody, man, I got to leave and get back to America because Osama bin Laden's getting ready to bomb. Osama bin Laden's getting ready to bomb. 2001 hit me. And then he walks off the stage. I had no clue who Osama bin Laden was until weeks after September 11th, when he started being named as the fall guy for September 11th. Just months before his death, Prince donated $50,000 to the 9/11 Truth Fund. So, he would tell people he didn't trust the government. He would tell people that the music industry was corrupt and the music industry was tied to the government. The book he was writing that he couldn't finish because they killed him. The first 50 pages were tying the CIA and the government to the music industry and their control over it. And the messages they come to you and have you try to push. And like I said, you get to a point where you have to make a choice to be a part of their system. And you can see when the person made the choice. When the person made that choice not to be a part of their system, they basically end up on where are they now? And they'll have you believe that Michael Jackson is the most successful black artist ever. Selling the most records because you owe so much to your label doesn't necessarily make you the most successful. Prince had the largest catalog, the largest royalty revenue in the history of music. He is the reason music is bought online. He was the first to do it. First to sell music online, first to have digital downloads, first to have MP3 downloads. All of this stuff was created by him. 2004, earlier than 96, he started self-promoting his own concerts, paying for it himself. So he owed nobody any money. A lot of people don't realize, I remember TLC saying they got 7 cents per CD sold. Crazy Sexy Cool sold 10 plus million records. If I'm not mistaken, LaFace made $500 million off of that. They end up splitting like $3 million. because they had to pay for lawyer fees, and they had to pay for the music video, and they had to pay for studio time, and they had to pay for the writers and the producers and the engineers and the musicians that come play and the people who composed it and all this other nonsense. That's how they keep them broke. That's how they keep you confused. And they realize when people have a big platform, a Michael Jackson, a Prince, a Tupac, they take them out before they can wake the masses up. Now, because we have the internet, because we can go back and look at these interviews, because we can go back and look at when Michael Jackson said history was fake and Tommy Mottola was a mean person and Sony Records was horrible, because we could go back and watch Prince talk about chemtrails and call the Illuminati the gatekeepers, as we always call them on Axe Truth. That's how we're able to see these things. I mean, just think of if Prince wasn't blackballed. I mean, he was blackballed to the point where record stations were told they weren't allowed to play his music. They were told they weren't allowed to play his music. His CDs are not in the record store. Look at this list if you can see it. You can see this list. This list is his CDs versus Michael Jackson CDs. Michael Jackson had 6 albums as a solo artist. Okay, here's the rest. 6 albums as a solo artist. Prince had 39. Most people think he never made nothing after 1984, and the rest don't think he made anything after 1991. That's how they do it. They suppress the rebels, the people that rebel, the people that rebel against their system. I seen a documentary. They said, the industry would ask him to do certain things and promote certain things, and he would just tell them no. And you say, why was he allowed to get away with it? Well, he was allowed to get away with it because they were making billions of dollars. Once they had a problem with him and they had to let him out of his contract back in 1996, they tried to kill him. April 21st of 1996. Now, you think it's a coincidence that he died April 21st of 2016, exactly 20 years later? It's not a coincidence. That he dies on the Queen's 90th birthday when he says that Charles is a shapeshifter. He read David Icke books. He met David Icke back in 2007. David Icke, posted a 25-minute tribute video. And David Icke said he stopped listening to music in the 60s. But when he went to that concert back in 2007, he was in awe of his talent. And then talking to him, talked about how intelligent he was and how he had a higher level of consciousness more than most people on earth. Those type of people, not only do they not want him to exist, and like I said, I was asked to break down, his murder and information that I had on it. If you search, which a friend of mine did, there's no death certificate in Carver or Hennepin County for him. The place he was cremated doesn't have him on the list of people cremated that day. And why was he cremated the very next day? The CEO of Warner Brothers has ownership stake in the place he was cremated. The plane he got sick on. Another shareholder in Warner Brothers owned the plane he got sick on. They had Van Jones befriend him. Who does Van Jones work for? CNN. Who is CNN owned by Warner Brothers? An ex-manager came out, said Van Jones and Phaedra Ellis Lampkins was stealing the man's money on the sly, incrementally. Of course, he found out because unlike R. Kelly, he can read and he checked his bank accounts. I mean, the man was laying dead on the floor, and there were people removing items from his house. You know, where were the police at to lock the scene down? This woman's talking about she got computer hackers and she's shredding documents. You know, what do you think that means? That's them covering it up. You know, and what they do to try to indoctrinate us. You know, I remember the DNC for 2016, and I didn't watch it, so I don't know why it was on my TV. Maybe it was God, but standing there with a reporter is Sheila E. Now, why the fuck is Sheila E. at the Democratic National Convention? And what did Sheila E. say out of her mouth? If Prince was alive, he would vote for Hillary Clinton. Is that the way to tell the millions and millions of Prince fans, you should vote for Hillary Clinton because Prince will vote for Hillary Clinton? Prince was a Republican. You know, and when he became a Jehovah's Witness, he stopped voting because Jehovah's Witnesses don't vote. He told Tavis Smiley he didn't vote for Barack Obama, so why the hell would he vote for Hillary Clinton? Stupid. It don't make no sense. But you see how they try to indoctrinate you? You know, to see how they try to, you know, use your icons against you, either wittingly or unwittingly. I mean, some of them willingly. You know, Spike Lee haven't been relevant for years. We've seen the pictures of him with Donald Trump on Access Channel. Now he's trying to act like Donald Trump is racist. Donald Trump has only been married to Melania for 10 years or so. There's a picture of Spike, Donald, and Melania. So that means fairly recently he was all hugs and smiles. Snoop Dogg too. That was 2011. The picture Kyle has, you know, there's pictures of Donald with Tupac. There's pictures of Donald Trump with Shabba Ranks. Now, what racist man to be hanging out with a dude that does reggae? I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. But, you know, I mean, who out there? You know, if Kanye West can keep his head on straight, he could tell the truth, but then he'll be dead. So who do we have out there that has that type of platform that will tell the truth, that will try to bring down a cabal? I mean, it's up to us to do it now. And they see the awakening happening, and they're afraid. You know, they're afraid of the awakening that's happening, and that's why you have to keep digging. And that's why, you know, they'll take out a Chris Cornell because he's exposing child sex trafficking rings. You know, they'll take these people out and they committed suicide. They were addicted to drugs. They're always drug addicts. You know, takes 3 milligrams of fentanyl to kill somebody of average size. Prince had enough fentanyl in his system to kill 5,000 people. It takes fentanyl 5 minutes to completely take effect. The most amount of fentanyl they ever found in one pill is 1.8 milligrams. So you want to tell me this man sat back and took 7,000 pills within 5 minutes, and then went out of all places in Paisley Park to die? He dies in the elevator. Remember, let's go crazy. If the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy, punch a higher floor. In the interview, he said that the elevator was Satan. The elevator bringing you down is Satan bringing you down. Going crazy and punching a higher floor is turning your life over and giving praise to God. So yeah, out of all places, they threw him face down in the elevator. Wolf Blitzer's first report of his death is that he was shot. You won't be able to find that video. You can find videos from 20 years ago from CNN, but that video you will not find. It is scrubbed completely from the internet, like it never existed. And that's what they do. And then the Mandela effect will take place. The Mandela effect is what they're doing to Michael Jackson right now. You know, a generation from now, all Michael Jackson will be is a doped up pedophile. And that's if, you know, we allow it. You know, and it's not about Whether he's guilty or innocent, to me, he's dead. To me, it doesn't matter. But you have to be careful. If you're in that industry, do not give them ammunition to destroy you. And that's what Michael did. Just hanging with little boys. Just, you know, he should have went and seen him at Children's Hospital, donated money, and kept his distance. And he should have stayed away. He didn't do that. And he's going to pay for it. You know, he's going to pay for that. So, you know, you have to be careful. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, they get caught up like that. That's how Tupac got caught up. You know, he got stuck staying with Death Row Records for that same reason. He had to pay back that studio time. He had to pay back them advances. He had to pay all that stuff back. You know, you have to pay all that stuff back. You get stuck. You know, it's the reason Prince had Paisley Park. They never paid for studio time for him. He even filmed his music videos there. All Warner Brothers Records did was A&R for him. So he couldn't understand why he owed them, you know, all that money. You know, but that's what they do. That's what they do to try to, you know, keep you stuck. You know, they'll let you get your 10, 15, 20, 30 million dollars while they making billions. And that's how they keep you a slave. That's why I knew when he wrote slave on his face, I was only 13 years old. I knew they was going to kill him for that. You know, I knew they was going to kill him for that. And it was crazy. I mean, I didn't know nothing about the Illuminati or the gate boulets or none of that. You know, you can't expose the system. He said you either own your masters or your masters own you. You know, he would tell people that all the time. You know, like I said, I mean, he played he had his own band. He played all the instruments. He had everything at Paisley Park at his disposal, you know, to make his own music. And that's why he could, you know, welcome to the Don.com. That was your first streaming service, you know, before Pandora and Spotify and SoundCloud and all these things was even thought of. Musicology Download Store, that was before iTunes. You know, MPG Music Club. All of this stuff, you know, was ahead of time. They stole the man's ideas from him and didn't want to pay for him. Then blocked him from having his music in the stores, his music on the radios. But that's what they do. You know? I mean, the man had a as big or maybe even bigger fan base than Michael Jackson did. And y'all may not believe it, but the reason I said that is because Prince could play any genre of music. So hardcore rap fans are fans of his music. Hardcore rock fans are fans of his music. You know, people that like funk, people that like jazz, people that like blues are fans of his music. Michael, you got the pop crowd and the R&B crowd. And that's just about it. You know, somebody that's listening to 9 Inch Nails and Pantera is not going to listen to Michael Jackson. They'll listen to Prince. So he had that type of reach. You know, and, you know, like I said, he talked about them poisoning our food, them poisoning our waters, them dumbing us down, the chemtrails. You know, and the chemtrails and the climate change is most likely developed by the Jason Society. So, you know, if you want more information about the Jasons, put it in the comments below and I'll make a video about it. But, you know, for the few people that asked me, you know, yes, Prince was a hit. Yes, it was, you know, most likely MI5, MI6, CIA. Yes, it was because he was tying together and exposing this stuff If I'm not mistaken, Michael Mancow Miller said he was ready to go on Alex Jones' show to talk to him, because he listened to Alex Jones. Like I said, is Alex Jones crazy? Yeah. Could he be COINTELPRO? Yeah, but he tied together. I never heard of bisphenol A until Alex Jones mentioned it, and I researched it. And it is effeminizing men and hyper-feminizing women. And that's why you have this young generation of effeminized male and over-feminized women. You know, part of the Agenda 21 depopulation plan. You know. And you know, that's all done on purpose. You know, Axe's chat will be on pretty soon. He say 7:40, so that probably mean 8:15. So, like I said, once y'all see the video, y'all want some more info, comment. You know, I'll let you know my research. But for the Boulets, the book Arcana People, Behold the Pale Horse, The Virus and the Vaccines, The Grand Chessboard, Trilateralism, Between Two Ages, the David Icke books. Mark Dice has some good books about Big Brother. You know, read some of this stuff, research it for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. You know, that's how I know the stuff that I know. I would hear it. People would put a bug in my ear. You know, your third eye come into play. And you know, you go research it for yourself. You go down the rabbit hole. So I'm about to fade y'all out with some blues. And to the trolls, eat a dick and cheese sandwich. I don't care what y'all think or what you feel or what you do and don't like, trolls. You know, they was big up in Cag's chat today, so that means she waking people up. She starting to get YouTube mad. They stay in Axe's chat, you know. But the more of us that speak out, you know, they can't get us all. Yeah, they can't get us all. So until next time, enjoy the music. Fair use. I don't own it. It's part of my collection. So, you know, y'all just listen. Check y'all out later on the chopping block. Officially 7:40, but I'll say 8:15, 8:20. Y'all know how Axe is. All right, y'all. Check y'all later.